Cancer spares no one. It can begin quietly. Somewhere deep inside the body, a single cell goes wrong. Then another. And one day, a doctor sits across from you and says the words that split a life into before and after. You have cancer. It steals years. It steals people. It devastates families. It does not care who you are or how much you have to live for. Cancer is among the cruelest things found in nature. And what makes it even worse, it's been around for a very, very long time. Most people think cancer is a modern disease. We blame processed food, pollution, smoking, and sedentary lifestyles. And yes, those things can absolutely increase cancer risk. But the truth is much older. In 2016, researchers studying fossils from South Africa described something extraordinary: a foot bone from an early human relative, between 1.6 and 1.8 million years old. The bone showed signs of osteosarcoma, an aggressive, malignant bone cancer. This was not a simple crack, not an injury, not just damage from time. It was evidence of a tumor growing inside a creature that walked the earth long before civilization, long before writing, long before medicine. Another ancient skeleton from roughly the same period showed signs of a benign tumor in the spine. Scientists call these abnormal growths neoplasms, and finding them in fossils nearly 2 million years old tells us something profound. Cancer is not new. Cancer is ancient, but fossils only show us a tiny part of the story. Cancer often begins in soft tissue, organs, skin, blood, and soft tissue usually does not fossilize. It simply disappears. Over centuries, over millennia, the body is reduced to what survives, mostly bone and teeth. So when we search for cancer in the ancient world, we are looking through a keyhole. Scientists call this preservation bias. That is why mummies are so valuable. They preserve soft tissue. And with CT scans, researchers have found tumors in ancient remains thousands of years old. Cancer was not invisible. We simply could not always see it, and we do not have to rely on bones and mummies alone. Ancient people wrote about cancer. The Edwin Smith Papyrus, an Egyptian medical text from around 1600 BCE, describes bulging tumors of the breast. The text gives a devastatingly simple verdict: there is no treatment. That sentence was written nearly 4,000 years ago. A physician looked at cancer and understood the horror of it, even without knowing about DNA, mutations, or cells. Centuries later, Hippocrates gave cancer one of its most famous names. He used the Greek word karkinos, meaning crab. He believed the swollen veins spreading around a tumor looked like the legs of a crab reaching outward. Later, the Roman physician Celsus translated the term into Latin as cancer. That is the word we still use today. For thousands of years, across different civilizations, people observed cancer, documented it, feared it, and tried to understand it. They simply did not yet know what was causing it. To understand why cancer is ancient, you have to understand what cancer actually is. Right now, your body is making about 3.8 million new cells every second, each time copying 3 billion letters of DNA. Almost every time, it gets it right. Almost. But sometimes a copy goes wrong. A damaged cell doesn't die. It doesn't stop dividing. It keeps growing. It becomes a mass. It spreads. That is cancer, born from the very process that keeps you alive. And that is why cancer is ancient. Mutations are not caused by modernity. They are caused by life itself. Every organism made of dividing cells carries this risk. Dinosaurs developed tumors. Ancient fish developed tumors. Even plants can develop uncontrolled growths that resemble tumors. Cancer is not just a disease of humans. It is a risk built into the biology of complex life. So did ancient humans get cancer less often than we do today? The honest answer is probably yes, but not because the ancient world was a cancer-free paradise. The biggest reason was lifespan. Many prehistoric humans died young from infection, injury, violence, childbirth, famine, predators, and diseases that are now treatable. Average life expectancy was often low, roughly in the range of 25 to 35 years. And cancer takes time. Most cancers develop after the age of 50. If you die at 30 from an infected wound, a tooth abscess, famine, or an accident, cancer may never get the chance to develop. Ancient humans didn't smoke tobacco, didn't eat processed food, and moved constantly. That likely reduced some cancer risks, but they had dangers of their own: smoke from indoor fires, parasites, chronic infections, and relentless sun exposure. Some cancers were probably never diagnosed at all. So the ancient world was not free from cancer. People were often just dying of other things first. So why does cancer seem so common now? Reason 1, we live longer. More people now reach their 60s, 70s, and 80s, the age range when cancer becomes much more likely. Reason 2, we can find it. Modern imaging detects tumors that ancient physicians could never have seen. Reason 3, modern risk factors are real. Tobacco, processed meat, obesity, UV radiation, alcohol, all are linked to increased cancer risk. Alcohol alone is classified as a Group 1 carcinogen. So yes, modern life has created new risks. But modern life did not create cancer itself. Cancer was already here. Understanding that cancer is ancient is not just interesting. It helps scientists think differently. If cancer has existed for millions of years, then it is woven deeply into the history of multicellular life. That means evolution has been fighting cancer for a very long time, and some animals seem to have evolved unusual defenses. Elephants are one of the most famous examples. Humans have the standard TP53 tumor suppressor gene, often called the guardian of the genome. Elephants carry an expanded set of TP53 copies, giving their cells extra ways to respond to DNA damage. Scientists study this because elephants are huge animals with many more cells than humans, and yet they do not develop cancer at the rate we might expect. This mystery is part of what researchers call Peto's paradox. Naked mole rats are another extraordinary case. These small rodents can live for decades and show remarkable resistance to cancer. Their cells seem unusually good at stopping growth before overcrowding becomes dangerous. By studying animals that resist cancer better than we do, scientists may discover new ways to prevent, detect, or treat the disease. Cancer is not a modern problem. It is a very ancient disease that existed long before humans discovered fire or built cities. Today, scientists are studying ancient bones and genes to see how cancer changed over time. Understanding the history of cancer helps us find new ways to treat it. And for the first time in that long history, we are fighting back. Subscribe and stay curious.